Super Bowl victories are a testament to Bill Walsh's cerebral approach to football. His architect is Joe Montana, and the 49ers' blueprint for success lies with their passing game. Containing Dwight Clark and Jerry Rice is a nightmare for any defense, and today, that night Parcells and his Giants defense have done all season long. They are perhaps football's most punishing unit, possessing many weapons. And if defense is the soul of the Giants, their linebackers are the soul of the defense. Today, their sights are set squarely on Joe Montana as the Giants hope to continue. CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the NFC Divisional Playoff game between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. In weather you wouldn't expect for this time of year. 30 degrees, forecast sunny and cold. You wouldn't expect it to be this good, but it is. Good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden, and I think in talking to the 49ers yesterday, and Bill Walsh particularly, John, they feel that they have a scheme, an offensive scheme particularly, that will work against the Giants.
You know, yesterday was the most confidence that I've ever seen Bill Walsh, and maybe he has reason to. You know, that any time he's been in a playoff game and he's had 2 weeks to prepare, he's 5-0. Now, what did he prepare? Well, the biggest thing, I think, is they just played a month ago. They played the Giants, and they went into that game saying that they had to stop Joe Morris, that they had to stop the run, and then, of course, in the second half, Phil Simms got to him. So this time he said, we're going to go after Phil Simms. He said, we're going to blitz. We're going to stay in our pass rush lanes. We're going to stop the pass. No big plays. Let Morris get us 100 yards, but they aren't going to beat us with the pass.
49er quarterback Joe Montana. And the defense he'll look at. One of the best. Martin, BURT, and Marshall up front. Linebacking core of Banks, Reasons, Carson, and Lawrence Taylor. And in the secondary, Patterson and Williams on the corners. Kenny Hill and Herb Welch, the safety. Terry Kennard missing. First down, 49ers, their own 37. Montana to work. Roger Craig. Craig out of bounds after a pickup of about 8. Lawrence Taylor knocked him out. He might have gotten more than that. Montana, the quarterback. Cribbs and Craig, the runners. Clark and Rice, wide receivers. Russ Francis, the tight end. Fonhorst, Cross, Quillen, McIntyre, and Bubba Paris on the left side with the challenge for most of the day of blocking Lawrence Taylor. Close to a first down for the 49ers. Remarkable man, Montana. The recovery from the injury, the back surgery, and again they're measuring over on the sideline. Jerry Markbright is the referee. It really is, John. The comeback, the recovery, whatever you want to call it, the determination or whatever of Joe Montana, remarkable.
Well, you know, he's that type of guy. I mean, he's the type of guy that never showed pain. And then when he got the back and then the surgery and coming back, he said he knew that he was going to play. And he just had to get back in there and just block out the pain. And he was able to do that. And, you know, here's what the 49ers have done with Montana and without him. And as the players will tell you, when he comes back, everyone plays better. Even defensive players. Even the kicker kicks better when Joe Montana's there.
2nd and 1. It's only about a foot. The handoff is to Craig. He's got it. Harry Carson tripped him up. A gain of 4 by Roger Craig. Amazing thing, one of the things that Bill Walsh said yesterday, remember last year when the Giants beat the 49ers in the game here in the playoffs, beat them 17-3, it was worse than that. But Walsh said if I had known how bad Montana was hurting that day, I would not have played him.
Right, and I think that, you know, Roger Craig was about the same way. Remember, he had 2 bad knees in that game.
Montana intended for Clark, incomplete. Harry Williams, the defender.
As you look at Montana, I was watching him on tape, and I saw a couple games on television. I thought, since he's come back, he's looked different. And, you know, I mean, you know that he had the back surgery, maybe it's just knowing that, but what it is he's lost weight. You know, he lost like 15 pounds, and he was never, you know, a heavy guy anyway. And he was down to about 180 from his normal 195.
He's gained some of it back, but he's still thin. 2 tight ends for the 49ers now. Grips and Craig. Montana quickly to Jerry Rice, and he's got some speed. He drops the ball. Rice chases it, doesn't come up with it, goes into the end zone. The scramble continues, and the Giants come up with it. He had a touchdown.
Tell you, that is unbelievable. That is an artificial turf turnover. You know what happens is you start to run, sometimes your foot will get caught, it just gives you an extra bump. Look at this. He's open here, he catches a pass against Elvis Patterson, runs by the free safety, Herb Wells, just drops the ball down his leg, knees it, pushes it forward into the end zone, and the Giants recover.
Kenny Hill came up with it finally. Montana and the 49ers thought they had a touchdown, and they did. But the pill got away, and the Giants will take over. Giant ball at their own 20 after Rice had a touchdown in sight and lost the football. Finally herds him out of bounds. First down, Giants, a pickup of 16. That's more yards than he got in the regular season meeting. Back to Jerry Rice and his problem.
Let's watch it again. Here, he's going to come in here, catch a slant right about here. Wells comes here. Patterson comes here. Rice runs right by him and fumbles here just after he changes up. Watch him here, the slant, Montana right on the run. Now watch here, the left hand, the ball just hit his chest in the running motion. Where he was going, it wasn't a screen. He just wanted to find another blue jersey.
First and 20, Montana back to throw. Going deep, it's going to be picked off by Lawrence Taylor, and he's got a lot of room to run. Montana is down. Taylor is in the end zone, but Montana is hurt. Rice was the intended receiver. Lawrence Taylor was the only man there as Montana took a shot.
Watch the hit, it was Jim Burt. Burt came through and unloaded on Montana. Montana just threw it out there. As you say, Lawrence Taylor was the only guy out there. I'll tell you, Montana was really bounced off that turf. It looks like they're checking his right shoulder. Watch the thing again. Burt is going to come straight up the middle off Quillen's block there. Hit Montana. I don't know. It could have been either shoulder the way he hit there.
Nothing dirty, nothing unnecessary. Legitimate by Burt.
You know, he looks like he's losing, Pat. That look, maybe it wasn't the shoulder. Maybe he was just, or maybe he was knocked out.
That's what it looks like.
I tell you, he is awfully wobbly.
And headed for the 49er locker room. The touchdown is official by Lawrence Taylor from 34 yards away. Here's the extra point attempt by Allegre. And it's good. Back for another look.
Yeah, here's the whole play again. We'll see the rush. We'll see Jim Burt coming right up the middle. We'll see Montana getting rid of it, throwing the ball out there. As he got hit, that took a little off. So it was short out there to Rice. Lawrence Taylor getting back in his zone. Seeing that ball, of course, when he catches it, it's in the end zone. There's no 49er between he and the touchdown.
It was intended for Rice, but he had no chance. Lawrence Taylor downed by his own teammates.
And a bunch of them jumped on him after they got him down.
The best part of that whole season was the chase we had to go through, having to go through San Francisco.
Be picked off by Lawrence Taylor.
Jerry Rice just gave up. He didn't even want to chase. He just gave up.
While O'Brien finished 1986 flat on his back, Joe Montana started the season that way. And his triumphant return from spinal surgery was the most heartwarming story of the year.
Well, I was nervous and excited. I was glad to be back, but butterflies were a little bigger. They were big monarchs, I think, instead of a little tiny but a moth type. I was afraid of coming back and not being able to perform as well as I had before I left.
49er teammates compared the valiant Montana to Lancelot when he led his team to the NFC Western title. But in the crusade to the Super Bowl, the White Knight needed more than armor and chainmail to protect himself from the New York Giants.
37 seconds to go. Montana inside the 10. Throws wildly. Intercepted. There goes Taylor down to the 20. 10. Touchdown. LT. Way to go. And Montana's hurt.
This Lancelot was carried off on his shield. And for the 49ers and many NFL teams, the road to the Super Bowl was littered with quarterbacks.